So if you could see behind me, yeah, there are a whole lot of knobs on the wall. 1,200 to be precise, and we are precisely halfway to the actual finished goal, which is 1,000 oscillator mega drone. Right now we've got a 500 oscillator mega drone. We've got the 5 lowest registers. We start at the bottom, which have 47 microfarad capacitors, and they make the lowest notes. Sometimes they're even like they're so low that they're low frequency oscillators. And then you go up to 22 microfarad, and then we've got 3 rows of 10 microfarad capacitor kind of things, and they're slightly higher. They go for the mid-range. They're like the tenors. No, not the tenors. Who's the middle ones? I don't know. The middle people are hello instead of a hello. We haven't got the castrates yet. There's going to be another 2 rows of 10 microfarads, and then there's going to be 4 rows of 1 microfarad and 1 row of a half. I can't remember exactly what it's going to be. So basically the premise of this video is I'm going to put all of the jacks into here. I could have put the actual routing of the audio around the back of it, but you know, it kind of spoils the fun if there's not loads of wires hanging out. There's going to be a massive mess on the floor, but the plan is I'm actually going to put a gutter underneath it, a sort of gutter thing that holds the massive mess of wires so it isn't stepped on and broken and stuff. Right now, as you can see, it's firmly glued and screwed onto the wall. It's not going anywhere. At the bottom there are 5 passive mixers, and basically these are there to kind of mix the columns. However, right now there's not enough columns, and I haven't finished all the mixers because they're quite time consuming. I'm going to wire these 50 modules of 10 oscillators all with a separate jack cable over to the mixers, and I'm going to take the mixers, all of the 5 mixer outputs, to a mixing desk. And we're going to have a listen and see what's going on. And needless to say, after I've put all the jack cables in, well, I've got the tedious task of tuning it. Amazingly enough, in the last update on the 1,000 oscillator mega drone, I had 3 rows of non-tested modules in, and now they're fully tested and stuff like that. However, there was a few comments of people saying, well, what's the point? If you tune the first one, you get to the last one, the tuning's all drifted. Well, this is where it actually is quite interesting, because I left it on constantly the other day to kind of do a test, and it hasn't drifted. As long as you leave it on for half an hour before, it won't drift out of tune, which is really good to know. The eagle eyes amongst you will notice there is one that sadly isn't working. I've only just realised that there is actually one that's broken, so this is going to be a 499 oscillator mega drone. Also, quickly before we continue, if you notice, the LEDs actually have a very limited kind of viewing angle, so it makes for this very strange effect, and it's really quite noticeable in real life. It's not as noticeable on the camera, but you can see the ones directly in front of you are very bright and the ones around are not, and it actually looks kind of like, it looks strange. So all of the jack cables are now in. It took about 10 minutes, that's not that bad. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tune all of the drone notes to basically the same note. Vary in octaves, but pretty much the same notes, as close as I possibly can. Yes, you can tune them to loads of different notes and maybe have banks of different notes and pan between them like an orchestra of music, but we're not going to do that in this video. I don't want to blow all of the like funky things that the 1,000 oscillator mega drone can do. I just want to see how much 500 oscillators sound at the same time playing the same note, and we can all sit back and realise how much of a waste of time it is. But you know, if everybody thought like that, nothing interesting would happen, would it? Right, anyway, let's get tuning. So basically how I'm going to tune is I'm going to tune one note first, and I'm going to turn up every single one by one and tune it to that note. And every so often I'm going to double check that that note hasn't drifted by me touching it or anything, because they won't drift anymore. There's no like temperature drift or stuff because it's reasonably stable in here. Right, so I have the first note that I'm going to choose to be Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and tune every single note to that. So yeah, there we go. That is a whole bank of 10 in tune. You can hear. So now we're back to the first one, and I'm going to take this first one and go to the next one and tune the next one to it. Ah. So you can hear the droning in the background. That is just one note, and that has been the kind of bed tone to the whole thing. That's the note that I started with, and I've just double checked and it hasn't drifted, luckily. So everything should be in tune and they all should be playing pretty much the same notes. So basically I'm just going to turn them all up pretty much as quickly as I can, just going and flicking through all of them, and then after that I'm just going to make it go into chaos. Right now in this video I'm not going to touch on all the control voltage parameters and touch on anything else. I'm just interested to see what the heck 500 oscillators sound like together. Actually, I correct that, it's about 496. I noticed 4 of them near enough they weren't working. So yeah, we've got 496. Let's turn them all on and see what happens, shall we? Okay, let's go. Oh my god. That is 100 of them, like, tuned pretty much in unison. You can't really notice that there's 100 going on because they're all on the same kind of note. It's like 100 football hooligans. This will never happen, but they're all singing in tune. Anyway, on to the next row. now is basically 500 oscillators kind of just out of tune with each other. And yes, it literally sounds like a football stadium. They're all just going, yeah, yeah, football, 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 football. And yeah, everybody's like singing in a different tune, but it's not people, it's flashy light oscillators. I'm really annoyed now because I spent about half an hour tuning them all. Now I've literally just made them all go out of tune. So there we go, that's the 500 oscillator Mega Drone, basically playing 500 of the same notes. I know it doesn't sound that crazy, but if you think about it, that's 500 notes just playing at the same time. It can obviously play 5 different notes with 100 oscillators inside them, or you can actually tune every single one to a different note in a chord or something like that. We haven't even touched on the control voltage possibilities, which will mean we can control every single one of the 1000 oscillators at the same time. When I finish the 1000 oscillators, I'm going to plug in all the control voltages and have one big knob and basically just go, and they'll all kind of get into tune with each other because none of them have the same curve, so they're all going to come from chaos into just a single note, like a resolution of 1000 things. And that is where I think the magic is going to really like shine in this machine. Also, by the end of this, I'm planning on having each column coming out of a separate speaker, because it's very, very hard to kind of say and show what is going on through a single set of stereo speakers. Like 1000 oscillators going through a set of stereo speakers doesn't really do it justice. So I figured one speaker per column would be pretty snazzy, all around your head or something, who knows. If you're interested in getting your name on one of the knobs, well, go over to the Patreon, because there are a fair few left unnamed, and I am slowly getting through the process of taking a photo of every single one of these modules and then writing the names of where you will be on the grid, and you basically just find your name in it, and then you can find your name on the Mega Drone. So if you're interested in supporting this rather ridiculous escapade and also getting your name on it, well, go and check it out over on the Patreon. And needless to say, there's plenty of other vlog updates on this and many other projects as well. But yeah, that's enough from me. This has been a right headbanger for me because yeah, there's been a lot of soldering, a lot of screwing, and yeah, all of the stages just take quite a long time. You wouldn't think about it, but the knobs, each row probably takes an hour and a half to 2 hours to just put the knobs on. I know, it's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, until next time, I've been Look Mum No Computer. Don't forget to subscribe and don't be scared to try it.